like that. But then it happens. Then what does that do to President Ruto? The first political advantage he has is that it happens midway. So he learns a lesson early enough before the election. By the time it happens, he has 2 years to the election. So he now knows that, wait a minute, we have a new generation that needs things done differently and you need to engage them differently. And what does he do immediately? He comes to X to start engaging them. Again, doing what another president had never done. So he quickly starts acting as different as what he has quickly learned from this. So he quickly starts engaging this younger generation of people. And two, he is now aware that these people want more deliverables. They want action. These are action-oriented people. They are not just about rhetoric. Today, he is moving around the country, launching projects day and night. The country has actually turned into a construction site. It is continuously becoming very hard to talk against President Ruto without verifiable evidence. And people are now asking the question. You remember how he has now moved the conversation of the country. In 2022, Ruto wins the election on the basis of what? On the basis of a narrative. He creates the best narrative, the hustler narrative, and the best promise for the people. He, for once, Kenyan election is able, the voter is able to think beyond tribe. The voter is able to feel like, when I am a hustler in Muranga, I am also a hustler in Bungoma, and the same hustler is in Taita Taveta. It's a language that unites people. So the narrative, he ticks the box on the narrative formulation, because in 2022, people are struggling to leave this bandwagon of just being about tribalism only. Tribalism has not ended, but people start the journey in 2022. And there he ticks it clearly, and he has a clear-cut agenda, and that wins him. Today, be careful and look at what is President Ruto doing in 2026. President Ruto in 2026, after the Gen Z uprising, which was on the basis of a finance bill, such a protest had never happened before. A protest on the basis of an agenda, on the basis of something that is tangible and deliverable. And on the basis of that, today, President Ruto is insisting on one thing as he campaigns. He's insisting on showing what he has done and what he intends to do and where he intends to take the country. And he's busy telling the other people that they don't have an agenda. And that is more or less starting to unite the people. And people feel like, okay, fine. Even those who don't want Ruto are starting to say, but wait, what is the agenda of these other guys? Isn't that the conversation in the streets? Yeah,
that is the conversation.
So the people are starting to feel like, okay, fine. Even the ones who are saying, I don't want Ruto, are now asking themselves, but what are you bringing on the table? So already President William Ruto is again winning in narrative, because he's again moved on the basis of what happened in June. He has learned from it, and now he knows what needs to be sold to these people. And what is he selling to the people? He's telling them that, one, for me, I am implementing the better plan now. The bottom, the knee of the better plan. And what are the problems that have faced us? He's saying we have had challenges, for instance, in terms of our debt. It's a crisis that we've talked about. So I'm creating the infrastructure fund so that in future, we will never need to borrow to develop the country. And he's saying one of our other things is that we have agriculture. And in agriculture, what am I doing? I'm not going to subsidize consumption, I'm subsidizing production. And that's why fertilizer subsidy is here with us. And that's why fertilizer is from 7,000 is now 2,500. He's telling the younger people that even the people who are moving outside the country, in terms of the domestic workers, they were all over TikTok talking about how they have suffered, how they are being mistreated. I have gone there and signed MOUs. Now, that story is a story of the past. He's telling those same young people that I know that there's an unemployment crisis in the country. But what am I doing about it? One, some of you can do business, and that's why we have the Nyota program. President Ruto is saying, and some of you can go abroad because I don't have the capacity to give all of you jobs. So there's the Kazi Maju. And some of you can actually work at the affordable housing. And he says that is one of the main reasons why there is even affordable housing. It's a bigger reason than the reason of the houses themselves. And he's saying this is my plan. And now he talks about health. He's saying we have moved from NHIF to SHA. And SHA is a bigger input than NHIF. NHIF, you need to wait for 3 months before you are treated. SHA, you are treated instantly. That is my plan. And now that becomes a harder conversation. Now he's telling the other people, now what is your plan. And the current generation that is looking at this is feeling like, wait, what he is saying is actually true. What he's saying in terms of SHA, yes, someone has said it's not working, it's not working. Now, it has become hard to continue saying it's not working. Now, it can be proven even by phone call to Karen Hospital that this SHA is actually working. So the people today are not voting narratives and slogans. But you can see that the opposition that Ruto has is still stuck in the politics of the past. They are still saying they are selling slogans. They are still stuck that, you know what, we will just sell slogans and we will insist on tribal arithmetic. That's why every time they are trying to gang up together so that they have a tribal enclave that can be able to outwit President Ruto. And I wonder why they would be doing that when we did that with Azimio. Because when we were doing that and coming up with BBI and all that, it was about putting different tribal kingpins together so that these tribal kingpins can then be able to propel the candidature of Raila Odinga. That did not work in 2022. Someone thinks it is going to work in 2027. And that's why I keep feeling like, and I keep saying, President Ruto is still way ahead of these people in this game.
Okay.